Hey guys, Andy Prepper here, doing another quick gear review. This time on the MAXAM Pliers Plus little multi-tool. Low cost, cheap multi-tool. You can find it around for about $5. Got this on CDNN Investments for $4.99 a while back. I'm going to go ahead and say this is not a primary multi-tool that you're probably going to want to carry. You know, I've got better stuff and probably should have done reviews on that, the Gerber suspension, etc. But for a low-cost backup option, it's perfectly decent for $5. It's going to get the job done fairly well for the price. Again, $5, much cheaper than your $30, $40, $50, $60, $80 multi-tools out there. Just a good backup. I actually keep a secondary bug-out bag. I have my primary 72-hour kit bag that I keep around, but I keep another one that's got my lower-cost gear that I had when I was a student and resident and all that. You know, lower cost stuff that, you know, when I didn't have the money to buy the higher end better stuff, I'm going to throw this in that kit or use this as a backup, you know, secondary multi-tool, something like that, knock around beater, that type of thing. So, comes with a little cheese scabbard there we'll talk about in a minute. This is a 14-piece kit is what they call it, you know, 14 options on it. Don't know how I'll cover them all in the review, but don't actually have the weight on this thing. It's fairly heavy. All stainless steel. Don't know the type of steel unless it's on the blade here. Don't see it there listed, honestly, but who cares? Stainless steel, basic tool. Not as compact or as foldable, flexible, usable as your multi-tools from Gerber or Leatherman and whatnot. But for $5, this is decent. Let's go ahead and start here at the base. Got a little locking piece there that holds the grip in place. It's got a little indentation there to hold it in place so it will not fall out particularly easily. You slide that aside. Could you use this for a lanyard back here? Yeah, you could if you wanted to. I really wouldn't. You've got your handle here for your pliers with a basic spring here. Again, a very basic multi-tool for basic tasks. Works fairly well. Not as good as some of your higher end stuff. Obviously you have your pliers up here and you got your wire cutters. Let's see if I can open that up a little bit. Got your wire cutters inside there. Perfectly decent. Will do the job just fine. No major issues. Maybe keep this around the house as a multi-tool if you don't. Keep your standard multi-tool around close. Maybe this is a good choice for the kitchen or your workshop for $5. Not a bad option. Locks in here fairly sturdily. No major problems there. It's not going to slip off particularly easily. Slightly skeletonized to cut down weight, I would assume, more than to be able to see the thing. Let's talk about options here. Right here on this side, there's only one option to pull out on this side, and it is a Phillips head screwdriver, which you can see right there, hopefully. Don't have full length of access due to the handle here, but that's fine for a Phillips head. I'd say that's a smaller size to medium size, small, medium Phillips head right there. So that's nice. Going around the rest of the options, got a blade, straight edge blade right here. Nothing fancy, nothing in particular, does not lock in place or anything, none of these do. Fairly sharp, could be sharpened better, but perfectly functional for basic cutting options, etc. Don't have the length on that, I'd say that looks about like 2 inches maybe, a little longer maybe, just didn't measure that at all. Next, you've got the saw file flathead option here. Good little saw edge there, serrated blade, which is nice for cutting off small limbs, that type thing in the survival situation for any kind of small wood gathering you're going to need. Again, not tremendous, maybe 1.5 inches, something like that, right there. It's going to be okay for smaller tasks. Got a flathead screwdriver here on the top end of that. Don't know how well you can see that there. But there's your flathead screwdriver. It's a large flathead. You got a smaller option here. I'll show you after a while. And on the back side, you got a file. So fingernails or whatever you might need a file for. Nothing wrong with that. Perfectly reasonable. Moving along, you have what they call a small blade. Now, this one's actually quite dull. There's a blade right here on this piece. Hope you can see that there, which is also the can opener option. This could be sharper. I could sharpen that up if I needed to. And you can open cans with it, obviously. can opener slash little small mini blade for smaller type tasks if you need it. That's a nice little addition. I don't know if I'm going to need that a whole lot. You know, you're not going to do any fine work with this in particular. It doesn't have a very steep point, sharp point or anything like that, but I'd probably use the standard blade right here as opposed to this one. The bigger one's sharper, at least it comes that way. You could sharpen this one up, just as an added bonus. Also, let me open this up again so I can get it out. You have a very small little flathead screwdriver option that comes out right here. Again, maybe not the longest or best option overall, but it's going to be okay for smaller tasks. Let me show you this up close. Very small little flathead. Again, nothing fancy, but not a bad little option there. You pretty much have to have this can opener small blade deployed to get this out, because it's locked into place below it. It's a pain to get out without that open. Once I skeletonized on this side, you know, flat on this end. Not a terrible choice, but not the best overall. If you're starting out and you don't have much money, $5, it's fine. This is a fine little item. It's going to be okay. It's going to be durable. No major issues with it. It's just not as nice as some of my other options. So I don't want to badmouth it, but I would not use this as a primary. I'd use it as a secondary item. Backup or a backup kit or just around the house use. Just something just to keep around if you need to grab it in a hurry and beat it to death. Maybe keep it out in your workshop, something like that. So whatever you want. Maxam makes relatively inexpensive blades and tools. Not bad though. I've owned a few Maxams over the years when I had no cash. It's not as good as some of my better stuff, but hey, for $5, it's hard to beat. Knock around. Little sheath right here, very basic, nothing fancy about it. Basic nylon and whatnot. Velcro top here. Velcro is quite wide, holds fairly well. Your pouch, this thing fits in here quite deeply, as you can see there. Almost hides the entire thing completely, so it's going to be a little hard to pull this thing out to use it. But it's going to secure very well. So even if this pops open on your belt, this is highly unlikely to pop out from my use and opinions, whatever that's worth. Again, basic nylon, nothing fancy, very cheap sheath. Nice addition here, you got two ways to carry on the back side. You got your standard belt loop here for carry in your standard fashion, which is exactly what I would recommend. But if you want to do the vertical style, or sorry, horizontal style carry, you've got two loops here. Hopefully you can see that there. Put that sideways on your belt. Maybe not quite as bulky. You can get to the thing on the sideways option, pull it open, pull it out. With the Velcro on here, I think this is okay. I think this is fine for this way carry. Again, I prefer this just from personal use and general use. This side bothers me a bit. You're going through the brush, backing up, something like that. You pull the thing open by mistake, and then the thing flopped its way out one way or another. It's fairly heavy, so you would probably notice if this thing fell out of your sheath here off your belt. I would probably not carry this on my belt as a primary. I just put it in my pack, throw it in the car, something like that for general use. Again, $5, the MAXAM Pliers Plus 14 function little pocket multi-tool. Very low cost for about $5 if you look around. Not the best in the world. I'd definitely take my Gerber suspension over this as a primary carry, but that costs $30. This one costs $5. If you're getting somebody into bushcraft, you know, or just general carry of a multi-tool or anything like that, you want some gifts, something to give around to somebody, give it to a kid just to play around with, something to get comfortable with, this is fine. For $5, it's hard to beat. Hope you enjoyed the review. MD Prepper, out.